Okay, another Wednesday.
Another Wednesday, another interesting topic to discuss between two of us, and hopefully some of our viewers will join our discussion, drop a comment, maybe share their experiences, their views, their beliefs, their doubts, their fears about this topic. You know what? I know that we agreed on this topic some time ago, but I was like, we didn't consult the fact that it's gonna be this week. So when I was setting up the live stream for this week,
Yep.
it was today. I started thinking like, what am I gonna say about this topic? Like, of course, I have some experiences and stuff like that, but how do we structure the whole conversation? And my proposition is that maybe we should structure it according to stakeholders when it comes to you being a hustler, being an entrepreneur, because being a business owner, because you have several different stakeholders around your business. So you definitely have your client. Hey, sorry,
Oh,
my
think we might have a live stream issue here where the dog might have interrupted
yeah
some
my
settings.
so my dog interrupted my like he started like, he went under my desk and he started moving some some cables there, so that's why my video went off. So yeah, continuing. Of course, you have your clients as the stakeholders. You have your employees, co-workers, who are also like stakeholders in your business. But also you have sometimes business partners, and I don't know, suppliers, I guess, maybe yeah, I can't name more, but I would focus on top three, let's say. So clients, employees, and business partners, because like when it comes to suppliers, it's only relevant to some of them. When it comes to
Mm,
partners, of course, you didn't have any business partners. I did have some
mm,
partners in the past. When it comes to employees, I have two employees. I know that you don't have employees at the moment,
no.
but I definitely share some experience when it comes to um, employees, and but clients, definitely. Probably that will be the biggest area for us to talk about when it comes to
Mm,
being
yeah.
business, but at the same time, being resistant, being cautious about not being taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I will talk a little bit about this, but Dan, you might want to check your audio because it's still a bit faint in terms of your voice. So you'll get a minute or two to see whether you can try sort that out. But yeah, I think just on what you just mentioned is the reason why we're doing this is we are talking a lot about the soft skills, and you probably hear a lot of people talk about being kind, and kindness is strength, all these sort of things. But a lot of times it's easy to associate being kind to being taken advantage of. It's like you're soft. And I think what we're trying to say is that kindness is not about being soft. Kindness is about an approach in getting something done in a way that is not forceful but still firm. Doesn't mean that you are soft. So when people talk about kindness, people I think resist the idea because they think that that means they might be taken advantage of. People might go above them. People might twist their arm, and that's absolutely not true. And we just want to share some experience on what we think are the ways that we would do this so that you can be kind without being taken advantage of. So yeah, I think that's great. Let's start with talking about clients, employees, and partners. So let's start
Yeah.
with clients first.
Also, I wanted to. Can you hear me well now? Is it better now?
Still a little bit faint.
Okay.
But it's a bit better than just now.
I don't know really what can I do at this point to
Yeah,
make it better, but I will
I guess
just
just
try
get
to.
closer to your mic. That
Yeah, I
works.
will just get closer to my microphone.
Mm,
Um, so I just wanted to say that regarding being kind, people should think of it as a way to interact with people
mm,
and be respected by them, but
mm,
this respect is driven by the emotions of sympathy,
mm,
not emotion of fear, you know.
mm,
Because like I would say that being kind, that's how you deal with people, by them feeling sympathy towards you instead of them being feared of you. Because I would say that old style management, it's about authority based on fear, I would say.
mm,
Authority based on the fact that you can punish and reward people,
mm.
you still can punish and reward people, but I guess it's about different kind of instruments that you will leverage to manage it. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about, maybe let's start with clients then, as I said.
Yeah, I think so. Let's start there. And actually, when we talk about clients, we might think about clients who are in the process of which we are trying to sell them a service, we're trying to show them or pitch them a product, etc. But it could also be the situation where have already paid for, they are already becoming a client. So there are different stages of that, right? So I'm quite interested to talk about the ones when you are about to pitch them a service or a product, because I think this is where, especially if people are new to a hustle or a business, you're definitely going to have to sell a product or a service. And because you're keen to sell something to prove that your effort does not go wasted, a lot of times we can easily get taken advantage of at this stage, right? Because we're trying to be kind, we're trying to like, oh, let's just get a bit of money. You might be kind and you think, oh, I'm just going to do this for free. And that is when you really get taken advantage of, because then if you do things for free, if you do things really cheaply, it can easily give the impression that people don't actually value your work as much. And people think, oh, if you're free labor, then they will actually demand or expect a lot from you. So for me, that is the stage where you will first learn about how do you deploy kindness when you're trying to sell a product or service. And I was just reading some articles early on, and obviously, you and I, like Gary Vee a lot. He talks about kindness a lot in his book, and then he really talks about how you can be kind, but you can also be firm at the same time. So that basically means you are the person who has the power to say no to somebody, but in a very kind way. You're not arrogant by saying no, you blah 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 blah. You're trying to take advantage of me, or do a lot of finger pointing. But what you're doing is say no thanks, and these are the reasons why. My answer is no. So that is still presenting or expressing your thoughts and ideas in a very kind, thoughtful, and respectful way, but still being firm, and not let people break or eat into your boundaries, because you are the ones who need to set what your boundaries look like. So I think when people talk about kindness, it's really about being kind with boundaries, so that when people offend you or if people step on your toes, then you got to be firm to actually say, oh, actually, no, my rules, my principles have been violated, and I'm not allowing that to happen. In fact, sometimes I think when you do that, people have more respect for you. They go, oh, actually, yeah, this guy or this gal, you can't really offend them, and then you got to respect them for what they care for, what they value. So
Yeah, they
um,
have some balls. You
they have,
don't think? Yeah, they have some balls,
yeah,
and I like it. I respect that.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I always say to some of that I remember when I was selling it, I was actually, I think the way that I do my sales is very kind, but they will ask me like, oh, this and that. No, because that's just not the way that I choose to do it. Or I will tell them actually to say, this is the package, this is the product. And here's the thing, right? Like a lot of the courses will tell you, oh, you can do this, you can do that, but those are just sales tactics. I'm not into that. That's not my
style.
forte.
Yeah.
If you think it resonates with you, go for it. If you think it's not going to work, please don't buy because I don't want to take your money. And then suddenly they go, oh, this is very interesting because they have never come across something like this. But because it was all being presented in a very nice, optimistic way that makes sense to people. So I think people are more open to it. It's a very authentic process. So yeah, I definitely learned a lot during that process. So I wonder what you think.
You know what? When I'm thinking about the process of selling
Mm,
something to people, actually selling my services to people, it's very in my case it's very specific, I would say, because I'm selling B2B services, right?
mm,
And services that are a bit, let's say, intangible. I would say intangible in a sense that um, mm, I don't know. Let's say you buy cleaning services for your company. Like, I would say it's more tangible than what I do, because like either your office will be cleaned or not, right? And
mm,
in my case, it's like um, I sell some kind of a promise, but I cannot like uh, promise, like, when it comes to you promising to someone that I will clean your office and you will be happy about it, I would say it's easier to fulfill it because it's more things are under your control. When it comes to me selling social media marketing services, it's more fluid, I would say. It's more flexible. It can go extremely good or it can go extremely wrong. Like, there are many things out of my control, and actually it also depends on the involvement of my clients. like
mm.
like marketing services are about the cooperation between agency and the client. um but very often, um it happened to me that people had some suggestions, when it comes, like, I mean, obj- object objections when it comes to my offer. Either
Mm,
price or maybe what's included in an offer. Very often, price is very, like, quite major concern for all business owners. It's because, like, everyone is looking for ways to save some money, right?
yeah.
Um so the thing is that when someone is asking you to lower a price, then you would think like, oh, it will be kind to agree to
Mm-hmm.
lowering the price. Actually, some of the um, salespeople are prepared for that. They put like the price that is overpriced, let's say. So they will put, let's say, I don't know, 1,200, even though they know that normally the product or service is priced 1,000. They are ready to sell it for 1,000, even though they priced it for 1,200, right? So they have this margin of 200 to go down, to cut it off,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I prefer to be transparent. So I'm um so when someone is asking me to lower my price, I say, listen, this is the price that all my clients are paying for the
Paying
same
for.
package, right?
Mm,
If I lower it for you, then it will be unfair towards them. And they
mm,
they respect such a. I think honesty is also about being kind, not using some shady tactics or something like that. Be honest, be straightforward. It's also about being kind in my sense. When it comes
mm,
to dealing with clients, what you have to be really careful about is what your clients are paying for and how much you are delivering to them. Because some clients will be more demanding than others. Some clients will demand more from you for what they pay than the others, right? So
Mm.
when you feel like your clients is crossing certain boundaries and they are like, let's say, overusing your kindness, then be ready to tell them, hold on, like, when I presented it to you, this is my product, this is my offer, you paid for it. I can't give you more because uh you didn't pay for it. Like, I I cannot make losses on this transaction. I'm a business person after all. I'm not a,
Mm.
maybe not, like,
Not,
I like to say that we are not a charity, but it might sound a little bit offensive. I would say
yeah.
also in your communication, be positive and say that, okay, these are the expectations. Sometimes I also expect more from people who I'm paying to, but I don't get it. And just be positive. Don't be defensive, because when you start being defensive, you might start being offensive, and
Mm.
then you are living the area of being kind to someone.
Yeah, that's good. If you're trying to be defensive, then you might turn out to be offensive. That's really good.
Yeah, when it comes to other stakeholders,
Employees?
employees, I would say, yeah,
Yeah, you got
it's
two.
quite relevant for me lately, because, like, you know uh it's not always like, the problem with employees is that very often when you set some standards, you expect the same standards from your employees, right?
Mm.
So that's a
Yeah.
major problem, that you have the same expectations towards them. But it can also be towards your business partners. You may have the same expectations towards them, towards others, as you have towards yourself. But you have
Mm.
to learn how to tolerate the fact that they might not be as skillful, as engaged as you are. So
Mm.
with employees, you have to remember, they are working in your business, but it's not their business. At the
They're
end of
just
the
there
day,
to earn a
it's
living.
it's your business. But
Yeah.
you have to. But I guess kindness, having a good relationship with your employees will help you uh, to get from them what you want, and prevent them from taking advantage of you. I
Mm.
I guess the way how an employee can take advantage of you is in a way when they will underperform. Either, I mean, they will do something below the standards and they will manage to hide it from you, let's say.
Mm.
And I guess when you are very kind to your employee and they have this really good relationship with you, in 90% of cases, I can say that it's 100% of cases, but in 90, maybe 95% of cases, they will do their best because they don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of with, like, you are becoming like a business parent to them, let's say,
Mm.
when
Mm.
you are an employer for an employee, when you are
Yeah.
a leader for your team member, you are be- becoming someone as a parent for them,
Yeah. Uh,
business work environment parent. And you don't want to let your parents down, right? So
Mm.
that's how they will feel about you. Like, they don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
So they will not take advantage of you if you
Yeah.
are kind, if you create this friendship with them. You don't let down your friends, right?
Yeah. I just remembered when we started, maybe a few months into this podcast, uh we kind of employed someone to do videos and stuff like that, right? Do you remember a guy, a very young dude that we recruited
but
previously to
but
do
do you
some
think
stuff?
but do you feel like he took advantage of us?
I don't think he did. I guess it's more like the way that we showed kindness when we were guiding him. I think when we I don't think he took advantage. I think he was
He was not mature. He was not mature for such responsibility in my sense.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say he was still a very amateur. He's
Like
still very new.
I think I at some point I believed that he will be more mature than I was when I was his age, but it turned out that he
He was not.
wasn't. He was
Yeah.
kind. Probably when I was his age, I wasn't that as kind as he was. I was a cocky little shit, I would say, but after all, I would say I would put like equal sign between him and me when it comes to being that age and whether being prepared for the job or not.
Yeah, but
Although I did some summer jobs when I was his age, and I was responsible sometimes for quite a lot of money, on daily basis, because I was selling tickets for this thing, and I was responsible to I was responsible for money directly. He was just responsible for social for our
yeah.
Instagram. So it was
Yeah, I
pretty.
guess my point is that when we were doing a lot of talks with him, we were very, I think our approach are kind but firm. We were like,
Yeah,
we didn't say any bad words. We were like, we were being very friendly, but we also make our requirements super, super clear. We were like, you know what, dude, we got you in to do this and you got to deliver it. And then when he didn't, we just cut him off. We just cut
yeah,
him loose.
but
Exactly.
you know what? Our approach was right in that sense that like we were kind and firm at the same time.
Mm.
So he wasn't like he didn't take advantage of us
He did
by
that.
saying something like, hey guys, I will improve, trust me, keep on paying me, keep on keeping me on your
On
payroll,
your
right?
books. Yeah.
I will improve. No, he was quick to admit that he's not the right fit for the job.
Hmm.
He knew that we were kind. He learned that we were kind to him, so he wanted to be kind enough to us, so that he didn't want to take advantage of us anymore.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want to take advantage of us intentionally.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, to some extent, he took advantage of us, but yeah,
Mm.
it
I
wasn't
think
his intention, I would say.
I think that's a good point. It's when you think about, we now can talk about, define what do you mean by being taken advantage of. Is like it goes back to whether the other person has got the intention of taking advantage of you, right? So it's a two-way process. It's not just about you not being taken advantage of, but it's also about whether the other person has got any intention of actually wanting to take advantage of you, even if you don't feel like it. Because you can tell all yourself some very stupid stories about, oh no, I'm just being kind, blah blah blah. But then people outside of it might go, hey, he's or she is literally taking advantage of your kindness. Sometimes we need that someone else to remind us to say, you got to step up for yourself, because otherwise people will just go all over your head and then try to be on top of you, trying to do everything um, by you not noticing it, because they have that bad intention, that ulterior motive that you may or may not be aware of. So it goes both ways. It's not just about you feel like whether you're being taken advantage of, it's whether the other person actually has the intention of wanting to take advantage of you. So I guess it goes both ways. So I think you just mentioned something that's probably a key point there. It's not a one-way process. It's probably a two-way process to assess and evaluate whether either party is being taken advantage of. Mm.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have to finish
Yeah, we're at
for
25-minute
today.
mark. Yeah.
It's almost 25 minutes. So to everyone who watched us tonight, or who will be watching us in the future, or to anyone listening to us on our podcast profiles on different podcast platforms, thank you for engaging. Thank you for listening. We hope you will leave some kind of a let's say, a sign that you watched it. I don't know, thumbs up, um, plus sign,
Like, share,
whatever. Yeah, like,
whatever.
share, follow us on Instagram, and speak to you next week. Thank you.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you, everyone.